Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Impact Marketing Summit. I brought together some of the world's top marketing experts to share with you their new age marketing strategies and techniques that will literally change the way you perceive and implement marketing in your day to day business. My name is Vamsi Pannala, and right now I'm delighted to be speaking with Christian Rauchenwald. Christian is the creator of CS Power Scripts, a marketer and a highly skilled IT specialist with 15 years of experience. As a former CTO of multiple eight-figure e-commerce companies and long-time entrepreneur, he has been working with more than 200 companies, helping them to improve their IT infrastructure and business processes. Christian, welcome to the summit.
Hello, and thanks for having me. It's really an honor to be on your summit. It was a little bit challenging in the beginning when we first got invited to join your summit and had to figure out what we want to share. I know that many of you are existing business owners that already have the basis down, and many of you are just starting out or looking for a way to start a first business. So that's why we decided to go with a very general topic that will allow each and every one of you, no matter where you are on your journey right now, to take something away and implement already today to improve your business or have a better start into your new business. And to get started, I'm going to quickly share my screen with all of you. So today's topic is done better than perfect? When and why you should aim for perfection. Most of you, if you are a little bit in the online marketing world, you probably heard the phrase already that you should launch imperfectly and that done is better than perfect. And in the end, if you think about, for example, the Pareto principle, which tells people that you can, or that 80% of your revenue come from 20% of your customers and can be applied in every other field, it actually is true. And there's a simple lesson that you can learn from the message is done, or done is better than perfect. And it's getting started is more important than figuring out how to do everything to the last detail. Over the years, I've worked with a lot of people and talked with a lot of people and eventually noticed that many of them have great ideas, but they simply overthink them. So instead of just getting started and launching imperfectly, they get stuck on the preparation phase, and therefore they never really start and they never really have success. So that's one of the reasons why launching imperfectly is the way to go. You cannot make any money from products and services you haven't launched yet. Even if your product is not 100% polished, as long as you don't launch it, there is no way you will actually build a business out of it. The longer you wait for something, the more likely it will become that somebody else already launched a similar product and is taking away your customers. And all of that is most likely happening because you are overthinking and you are wasting time trying to plan every little detail when in fact it's impossible to consider everything. Additionally, you can also spend a lot of your time and money to build something to perfection from your perspective. And then you launch your product, you spend money on advertising, and you just realize that actually your audience is not interested in it because they don't see it from your perspective. They don't see it with your passion. And that's also another reason why you should launch imperfectly. And one of the last things, or one of the most important things, as long as you don't launch, even if it's imperfectly, your customers have no way of receiving any kind of value from your product. So we see here that it's important when you're starting out, or even when you have an existing business and you're considering to expand or launch a new product, that you should always launch imperfectly. You can later polish things to perfection, or at least try to reach perfection, but you should always launch immediately, and even in some cases pre-sell your product. So set up a sales page and start selling your product with a future release date to already see if the market is interested or not, so you don't waste your time, energy, and money building something that people don't want to buy. Now, obviously, with the phrase done is better than perfect and launch imperfectly, over the years, I've also seen countless people that live by that standard in every part of their business. And that's unfortunately also a bad way, because once you have launched something, it's time to scale it to perfection. I want to be perfectly clear here. it's impossible to actually achieve perfection, especially in the online marketing space, because things are changing so quickly. Something that's a great idea to do today on Facebook marketing or on your website or on your funnel may be prohibited or not possible anymore tomorrow, or may get a punishment on Google rankings because Google decides suddenly that it's not a good way for customers to do something like that.
Yeah.
So scaling to perfection, or actually after launching imperfectly aiming for perfection, is a never-ending story of optimizing whatever you are selling, whatever you are promoting, to get more out of it. It's the only way to eventually scale your product and increase your profits, while at the same time also increase the customer satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another aspect of that, when you launch your first business, I see many people worry about having the right logo or color combinations and so on, but I can assure you that that's the last thing you should worry about. If you don't have a logo, it doesn't matter. If your product and your offer are great, you will sell. And eventually later, when you aim for perfection, that's the time where you start to worry about your branding. You start to establish a brand so that people have some kind of recognition. When they see a picture that you post, they immediately know it's a picture posted by your brand, by your company. You can basically also increase your conversion rate simply because people will have brand recognition for you. And what's even more important when you are reaching the point to scale for perfection is that it's impossible to scale without having the right data. In order to be able to scale, you'll always need to collect data on what's actually going on in your business, how your customers are interacting. Many business owners make the mistake that they look at their product only from their own perspective and what they like about it and how they like the website, but they never actually consider how it looks from the customer's perspective, from which perspective the customer is using the website, which features are they ignoring, where they are paying attention. And that also applies or affects then when a business owner or their marketing department tries to optimize things, because without the right data, you don't know where to optimize, and you are basically stuck and guessing what you could do to improve your conversion rate. So that's one thing where I see many business owners struggle because they lack the IT knowledge, they lack the right the right contacts, the right entrepreneurs helping them with their data or generating their data, and therefore they are not able to scale properly. Now, with that, we actually have enough of the theory for now, and I want to provide you all with a quick example of how you can easily improve your current websites, funnels, online stores, whatever it is you're using to generate leads or revenue, and also a useful tool or a useful technique when you're just starting out, so you know what to look for even in the beginning.
Sure.
Now, as you can see here, I've opened up my browser, and what you can see here is the mobile heat map of one of our latest projects, CF PowerScript, which is a software as a service. And we are using this heat map to optimize or figure out where we need to change things. A heat map is a very useful tool because instead of looking at single data of one specific visitor, it aggregates the behavior of multiple visitors, and it grants you an overview of where people interact with your page. I'm on purpose focusing on the mobile view here because the majority of traffic nowadays, especially the first interactions with your brand, happen on mobile devices. I'm going to quickly show you a few tricks how you can figure out where and what you need to change, and how you can figure out at which point you lose most of your visitors. Now, while we are using Smart Look here for our heat maps, there are plenty other services like Hotjar and so on. And it doesn't really matter which tool you settle for, it just matters that you know how to use it.
Okay.
So when you look at the heat map here for the mobile view, you can instantly see that many people that visit our page click on the menu. Many people click on our video here, which is important, and not so many people on mobile click on the first call to action. And when we scroll further, we can see that we only have interactions at the call to actions and on occasion on the sliders where users can swipe left and right to see different features.
Mm-hmm.
So that by itself already shows us one important thing, that users are not confused as to which parts of the page they can interact with and which parts are not meant for interaction. But it doesn't help us to figure out where we need to change something. And for that, SmartLook and other heat map tools have a different view where you basically see a color map. So you see where you, or how many, or you see what percentage of your visitors reaches a certain point of your page. And even more importantly, you see where the average fold is. Now, for those of you that don't know what the average fold is, it means which part of your website is on average visible to the user without scrolling. And we can already find a very big issue on this mobile landing page. It is that the call to action, so the first call to action that people can click on, requires the average user to scroll a little bit to become visible. So the immediate solution for this would be to change the font size of the headline here to make sure that the button becomes visible above the fold. And you want to do this on all your websites. You want to have your first call to action, the first thing you want people to interact with, visible without scrolling on mobile and desktop. Now, when we keep scrolling further, an easy way to spot issues with your funnel, website, or online store is when you have a huge shift in color in the heat map. So you see we continuously lose a few people along the way, so they scroll, but you see the percentage of users that reaches a certain point get smaller. But when you have a huge color shift, which I'm not sure that we have here somewhere, it should be eventually next to a CTA. No, also still fine. So when you have a huge color shift, so here everything appears to be quite normal, and we only have like a higher loss of users around the call to action buttons, which indicates around these areas where the call to action buttons are, many of our users actually click on the button and perform the action that we want them to perform. However, if we have a bigger color shift somewhere where there is no call to action, so for example, here from that call to action to the next one or to the bottom, we pretty much lose all of our traffic, which means we should work on the pricing section here, probably make a more clear call to action instead of three different ones to stop losing visitors here. And that's basically something that you can do with your with your funnel, website, and online store at every time. So in every point of the journey, you can constantly keep optimizing and keep looking at the heat maps to figure out at which point your visitors are actually losing interest in your product. I'm gonna quickly remove the screen share. So that's the way how you can keep an eye on how your funnel performs or your website. And even more importantly, that's the method how you can identify at which locations on your funnel, website, online store, or whatever it is you're using, you need to run a split test, or where a split test makes sense. So instead of randomly split testing headlines on the top of your page without any data behind it, the heat maps allow you to figure out at which section of your page you lose the most users, and that's the part where you have to apply a change. You have to maybe add a colorful image, maybe try different headlines, different call to action buttons, or simply switch a section with another section on your page to keep users interested. You only should have color shifts next to your call to action buttons, which would indicate people scroll, and finally at this section they are convinced and they take the action. So with that said, the biggest question is, when should you actually start, or when can you apply this? And I love to quote a Chinese proverb here: the best time to plant the tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So the best time to apply this is not after launching imperfectly, but already from day one, start collecting and gathering data. And that doesn't only apply to your heat maps, but it also applies to things like Google Analytics, your Facebook pixels, and so on. Collect as much data as you can from day one, even if you don't plan yet to run Facebook ads. You may change your mind in a couple of months, and having already the data in your Facebook pixel will help you get started properly in the beginning. So that's it. Thank you all for your attention. If you want to learn more about how we run our business and how we may be able to help you, visit us at christianrauchenwald.com or check out one of our YouTube channels. Or if you're already using ClickFunnels, check out CF PowerScripts to unleash your funnel's full potential.
Great. So I have a couple of questions, Christian. So I think a lot of people in the funnel world know you as someone who is really sound with your technical knowledge when it comes to ClickFunnels or for the other funnel softwares also that are out there. So and you have been an affiliate of ClickFunnels. I think you're still an affiliate, an active affiliate. But having said that, what made you come up with CF PowerScript? So when was this idea conceived, and how did you so what was the journey like, if you could just take us through for a couple of minutes?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. So if you visit my Christian Rauchenwald website, you'll see like kind of like a CV or my experience and education behind it.
Mhm.
And I had a shift in late 2018 where I stopped working in e-commerce consulting because I realized that I can only help a few people at a time.
Okay.
And I also couldn't scale it higher. So I decided to switch to affiliate marketing. So instead of working with one company, I was able to basically help multiple companies because I focused more on bringing out or promoting the right tools to the right businesses. And during that journey, I also discovered ClickFunnels, and we switched to it because it's easy to use and so on. And we immediately discovered that there are some features that ClickFunnels doesn't have, which for us personally was not an issue. So we just used a lot of custom code to generate this. And yeah, like along the way, connecting with more ClickFunnels users, we got asked more often, how can I do this and how can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
And I also noticed when we shared custom code with people, even if it's like, okay, here's 10 lines of custom code, you just have to change this and change that and so on. For the majority of business users, or entrepreneurs, it's like Chinese
It's
because they
overwhelming.
don't
Yeah.
have the background. Yeah, they don't need the background.
Yeah.
And eventually, almost a year later, I finally realized like how I can create a system where people can use the custom code that we are using in our funnels without having to deal with custom code. So instead of having to copy and paste and modify custom code, the
Yeah.
way our CF PowerScripts project works is they connect their ClickFunnels account and then they just say, okay, I want to add that feature. And they have a couple of settings in a nice user interface, and they click add script and it's active in their funnels. So the idea basically was born based on what we did with our funnels and what other people wanted to copy. And CF PowerScript simply became the way to allow us to provide more people with those scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time also generate an additional revenue stream. So while at the moment more than 50% of the scripts that we offer are available for free, we also have some scripts that are targeted for high volume ClickFunnels users, so people that already have funnels at a certain success level.
Mm-hmm.
And those are only included in our paid plan. And so it kind of like is like a win-win-win situation. I don't have to spend my time on one-on-one calls. People don't have to pay my hourly rate to get a small script in their funnel.
Absolutely.
And instead of only helping maybe one ClickFunnels user per day by helping them with their Facebook pixel or something else, we actually get to help hundreds of ClickFunnels users without spending our time directly on it. So that was how CF PowerScripts was born, and we're still improving it constantly. There's actually a relaunch of the whole interface coming quite soon, based on what we learned from users that are active on our platform. Basically, based on what we learned thanks to SmartLook, the heat maps, and specific user recordings. So yeah, that's how we got to it, and it's like what we are focusing on right now, and we'll focus on for a very long time.
Yeah. I think one of the best things that I like about CF PowerScripts is that one of the speakers who I recorded just a few days ago, he was talking about the importance of how you can provide a lot of value inside your own Facebook groups and get a ton of sales coming in if you start giving them the value. And as a process of doing that, he also talked about how you can ascend your customers on your value ladder. So when the topic of value ladder comes in, one of the things that automatically gets covered is the continuity program, when you take them towards the next set of programs on your value ladder, right? So even just a couple of days back, when I was watching one of the videos from Russell Brunson, he was talking about how you should try and see to come up with a continuity program, a subscription based business. So uh, and CF Power Scripts is something similar to that, right? So there is a subscription based, it's a monthly subscription that people want to, if they want additional features than what you're already giving out for free. So there is this subscription that they have to renew every single month, like what they do with ClickFunnels or with any other SaaS products as it is.
Yes, yeah. So basically, people that are already within or familiar with ClickFunnels know that there are similar solutions out there, like for example, CF Pro Tools, which work in a different way. They have a static membership area that it's hosted on ClickFunnels, and they show you some code and a video, and you need to copy the code, which also means they don't have ongoing costs. They have to pay their ClickFunnels account for that membership area, but the costs stay the same every month for the ClickFunnels account, whereas our system is created in a different way for multiple reasons. So it's like all the scripts that people can add through CF Power Scripts to their funnels are always loaded from our infrastructure. And the main reason behind that is if ClickFunnels changes something in their funnels and a script stops working, we can fix it on our end and the user doesn't have to do anything. So
Absolutely.
that's one of the reasons why we load the scripts from our systems, which also means the more people are using CF Power Scripts, the more scripts are active, the more we spend every month on hosting. And so that's one of the reasons why it's subscription based. Yeah. And I
Absolutely.
totally agree. It's in the end, having a continuity program, having a subscription based product is the ultimate goal of every business. But
Yeah.
obviously, it also means your product needs to provide value every month or every year. If you don't do that, then people will just cancel a subscription after 1 month. Yeah,
Exactly. Very
and
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think for CF Power Scripts that's very accurate because, for example, just yesterday I had a call with somebody who's using Funnelish, which is a solution for ClickFunnels users to offer Stripe and PayPal into their funnels. And he was struggling for a very long time to set up proper tracking for Facebook, Pinterest, and Google AdWords. So, which would require a lot of custom code if you hire a freelancer for it. And with CF Power Scripts, it required like maybe 20 mouse clicks and everything
Mhm.
was set up. So
Wonderful.
and as long as he keeps running those funnels and running ads for those funnels, the scripts will always be worth the money because he doesn't have to worry about updating anything and so on because we take care of everything on our end. Yeah.
Very true.
So it's
Very
it's like I think the biggest benefit is like people get the quality of code that I'm able to write without having to pay my hourly rate. Yeah. So currently our VIP plan is at $37 per month. If users were to book an hour with me, it's $200 per hour. So
Completely makes sense.
just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So totally agree. Yeah.
Great. So thank you so much for being on the summit and sharing some of the thoughts that you had again, regarding how people can launch their products imperfectly than trying to perfect them and never launch it forever, right? So I really thank you for taking out your time again, and being on the summit. It truly means a lot to me. So looking forward to many more sessions like this, Christian, and hope you have a great day.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure. I'm looking forward to our next cooperation.